All right, Sherman, Tank, Williams, and Robert Davis. We're taking a look in Davis's corner there. Davis, of course, undefeated, 14-0, 7 wins by way of knockout. Trying to improve on that punching power to really move on up into the heavyweight division. Williams doesn't need to improve the punching power, just needs to get some wins. He's got 13-2 coming in tonight, 10 wins by way of knockout. Kevin, both guys very busy in 1998. Williams had 9 fights. Davis had 8. It's the 3rd start for Davis in 1999, already the 4th start for Sherman the Tank Williams.
Well, young heavyweights need activity. All fighters that are young, up and coming in their career, need activity. The more you fight, the better you are at it. You're honing your skills. And staying active once a month, it's nothing hurts. I mean, if you get a loss in the meantime, you get back on the horse, you get a win again. You need to keep these guys active at all times.
Neither fighter ever passed 6 rounds. This is scheduled for 8. I spoke yesterday with Sherman Williams. Has no intention of trying to let this go to distance. Strictly goes in there, tries to take his man out. Davis, of course, you've seen him here on Explosion before, up-and-coming fighter out of the Steve Munisteri stable. Finesse fighter, he'll go to distance if need be, would like to improve on that punching power, as all heavyweights want to do. But sometimes very content just to sit back, stick and jab. Somewhat suspect stamina in the late rounds.
Well, if you look at Sherman Williams, he's built to be a puncher. He's a small guy, not too tall. Okay, he's 6'2". Actually, that's not tall for heavyweights. And he's built to be a banger. He got big arms, big chest, big legs. So he's made to absorb a little bit and give a lot more than he's absorbing.
Well, he sure doesn't look 6'2" to me, Kevin.
He looks like he's 5'10".
Yeah, 6'3.5" for Robert Davis. So I would say Sherman Williams looks more like, they said he was 6'2". Boy, they're stretching him.
I think he had boots on that day when they measured. He must have boots on.
More than halfway gone here in the first round, and certainly not a classic feeling out round here by any measure. Just Paul Cedars letting the fighters work out of infighting like this, and that's the fight that Williams wants. He wants to stay on the inside, wouldn't you say, Kevin?
That's the fight that he needs to do. See, Sherman Williams is a banger, a brawler. He needs to back Robert Davis up and get him in the corner, pin him in the corner, and bang. Robert Davis, on the other hand, needs to keep Sherman Williams on the outside. So this is actually a perfect matchup of styles. The boxer against the banker.
Let him go.
Right now, Robert Davis is not boxing, but he's fighting, and that's the wrong fight for him.
All right, break. Step back.
Let's see what happens the next round. I mean, Sherman Williams right now is having his way inside fighting.
Oh, and he throws a nice right over the top, and Davis dropped that left, and he drops the left a second time. He can't leave that jab sitting out there against Williams, and Davis in trouble.
Well, Davis' leg locked up a little bit there, like that buzzed him on the button. Like I said, Sherman Williams is a puncher, and you should not be inside, and that's exactly what Davis is allowing, to get on the inside.
Well, Kevin, I think the problem is also one jab is not going to keep Sherman Williams off. He's got to, I would say, in my opinion right now, Davis has to double on the jab and show that lateral motion, but if he's going to throw one jab and then drop it around his knees, Williams is going to keep coming over the top like he's did as we come near the end of round number 1. This is scheduled for the 8 on Explosion.
Seconds out. We approach the second round.
Round number 2 scheduled for 8. Arnie Tokyo Rosenthal along with Kevin Kelly. And in between rounds, Kevin, Robert Davis's corner, Sonny Oliver in particular, wants him to become a jab machine, wants to keep that jab, double on it, and he seems so far at least to be following instructions.
Well, the strategy is simple. When you're that tall, okay, like I say, 6'3.5", he should be on the outside utilizing the jab. You're right, Arnie. Right now, Robert Davis needs to be on the outside. He's a boxer, not a slugger. He's not built for slugging, especially against a guy like Sherman Williams. Sherman Williams is a banger. He gets on the inside, that's his job. He's supposed to do his job, and he's doing it well today. Right now, Robert Davis needs to throw the jab and tie him up like he just did right there. Punch, tie him up, maneuver him, get him out of position, and get on the outside. Do whatever he has to do to get on the outside. And mainly, to get on the outside, you need to jab, keep your man off balance at all times, and change position. Which I mean is jab and punch and move direction, change position.
Very quick first minute here of round number 2. I spoke to managers of both fighters, Steve Munisteri with Davis and Henry Foster with Sherman Williams, and both of them felt like this was a fight they needed to take in order to get their fighter to that next level. Main event on the explosion, get that exposure, maybe get a junior title shot 2 or 3 fights down the line. But interestingly enough, Davis had seen a lot of Sherman Williams, as had Munisteri, in the sparring camps of Obed Sullivan and a lot of the Munisteri fighters, like Ibuchi, people like that. Sherman's been in there sparring with those people, so he's no stranger to them, but I think it's a lot different when you're in there for a regular fight than a sparring situation. Again, that right over the top by Sherman Williams as Davis continues to drop his left hand.
That right reminds me of the young Ike Ibuchi who's out right now. It reminds me of a Joe Frazier. He got a Joe Frazier type style. And Robert Davis
A little bit of Tyson too.
Yeah, a little bit of Tyson, a little bit of Floyd Patterson, you know, overhand, a little Sonny Liston working in there. I tell you, he's a hell of a fighter. He's got a good punch, good punching power. He's got a weird way of getting there. Actually, Sherman Williams is not jabbing his way in either. So,
but he fights in a semi-peekaboo where he comes in fairly well covered up and is getting underneath that jab of Davis. And like we said, one jab is not going to do it, and the lateral motion's not there. Davis employing what his corner told him for about the first 20 seconds of the round. And Paul Cita now having his work cut out for him a little bit more as the fighters start to lay on each other on the inside. Keep in mind, neither fighter has been past 6 rounds. Be interesting to see, Kevin, if this gets into rounds 7 and 8.
I'm interested in seeing, like I said, right now, Robert Davis is fighting harder than he should be fighting. He's popping a jab, fighting very relaxed and comfortable. He's not doing that. So by the time 7th round walks around, the 8th round walks around, he's going to be more fatigued than he should be. They go to jab, he's popping a jab. We need to double and triple a jab and back up Sherman Williams. He's letting Sherman Williams walk in.
Paul Cita now having a little bit more work as now the separating of the fighters on the inside becoming a little tedious as we come near the end of round number 2, scheduled for 8 on the explosion.
This up belt from me.
Interesting now, we're in the corner of Sherman Williams. On the other side of the ring, Chuck McGregor just had to hop into the ring, and there's some sort of welt opening, the swelling up on the left eye of Robert Davis. So those overhand rights of Sherman Williams really making their mark, Kevin.
Well, it's too close. The bottom line, Robert Davis is allowing Sherman Williams to get too close. And I'm sure Chuck McGregor don't like that at all.
Out, seconds out. We approach the 3rd round.
Round number 3, scheduled for 8. That's Robert Davis in the red with the black stripe, Sherman Williams in the black and gold. No knockdowns thus far in the fight, but as we were mentioning between rounds, Kevin, an abrasion starting in the left eye of Robert Davis had Chuck McGregor at front and center trying to work on that eye, and that's certainly caused by those big overhand rights that Sherman Williams has been throwing. And now it seems like Davis not following the corner strategy, trying to brawl with Williams.
He fights for the first 10 to 15 seconds of the round. He seems like he fights. Then he goes into brawling mode. He allows Sherman Williams to get close, allows Sherman to hit him with the overhand right. See, that close right there, a man being that close to you is dangerous to you. You got to keep on the end of your jab. He has a shorter reach, okay? Even though they say he's 6'2", I believe he's 5'10", 5'11", maybe, tops. But I tell you, Robert Davis needs to practice keep his man on the outside. And when he gets on the inside, do what he's doing now. Tie him up. Don't allow him to punch. Because if Sherman Williams is on the inside, he's going to come with that overhand right.
Paul Cita giving another warning for hitting on the break to Sherman Williams. But yes, what you're pointing out, Kevin, is right on the money. Davis, the one good adjustment Davis has made here is he's tying up Williams now on the inside and not allowing Williams to get anything off. But at the same time, not scoring himself, needs to stay on the outside more. Now making Williams miss, and it looks like, even though we're only halfway gone in round number 3, that there's almost a fatigue factor setting in on Williams, whose punch output is certainly going down dramatically. Other thing to point out, while we're pointing things out here on Heavyweight Explosion, is that Sherman Williams has never been stopped. And he's only got 2 losses, actually in his pro debut, which was back in June of '97. He lost a 4-round decision to Renard Jones. His only other loss coming in his 3rd fight in a rematch to Jones. So,
who knows? Maybe Jones just got his number. But right now, it seems that Robert Davis has to do something right now to keep him off. And that something he has to do is utilize the jab. If you pick the jab out there, Sherman Williams walks right into it. Then he gets on the inside, tie him up. Like he's doing right there. Tie him up. Don't allow him to punch. Let the ref break you. Get on it. Get your range. Get your distance. Get back to the jab. Robert Davis right now is fighting the wrong fight.
well, I think the part that I think he's doing okay on is he is tying him up when he gets on the inside, but then he sits down and he's getting lethargic on the inside, allowing Williams to bull him a little bit into the ropes. On the other side of the coin, Williams isn't doing enough on the inside.
Williams right now is smothering his own punches. He's staying too close. He's not in punching range himself. So what happens right now, you got 2 guys smothering themselves. One guy fighting in a style, Robert Davis fighting a style that he shouldn't be fighting in. Sherman Williams fighting in a style where he's smothering his own punches. So right now, you pretty much got a brawl, not a boxing match.
All right, break. Come on.
Again, the wrestling continues as we come to the end of round number 3. Nice overhand right punctuates the end by Sherman Williams.
End of round 3.
Now, Kevin, that was a tough round to call.
I gave that round to Robert Davis.
I gave it to Davis as well, but it was like one of those rounds where you said, okay, he's allowing himself to, most of the round he spent tying up what I thought was an aggressive Sherman Williams, but Williams' shots weren't scoring, and nevertheless, tough to score.
The way I saw it is like this. Williams is just fighting on the inside, but he's not throwing punches. He's smothering his punches. He's too close inside, so he can't get his punches off. Now, Robert Davis is not capitalizing off it at all. He's not capitalizing. He's throwing the uppercut on the inside, tie him up, get on the outside, get some range, back to the jab, back to straight right hand, and back to the jab. It's simple stuff. And Chuck McGregor, I guarantee, is letting him know it right about now.
Seconds out. We approach the 4th round. Round 4.
Well, as we start round number 4, Davis has made one adjustment on the inside, and that's tying up Sherman Williams. But between rounds, Chuck McGregor trying to get him, Kevin, to use the uppercut when he gets on the inside. And he's trying it. There he goes, trying to slip it underneath. He's listening to Chuck, at least for the moment, doubling on that jab now, staying on the outside. But the funny thing is, where you would think, we thought early on Davis's fight should be from the outside, he keeps dropping that left, and that right hand over the top has been the best punch of the fight for Sherman Williams.
As you can see there, Robert Davis popped the jab. He landed 3 jabs in a row, consecutive jabs. And when he sees something working for him, he should stick to it. Instead, he does it, it works for him, and then he abandons it. You got to stick with that. 3 jabs work. It keeps Sherman Williams on his heels. It keeps him backing up, and it doesn't allow Sherman Williams to get over with the right hand. Plus, when you throw a jab, his right hand is on the right side of his body. When he throws that jab, coming over the left side, left jab of Robert Davis. Robert Davis pops the jab, the right hand can't land.
Well, as we said, the problem earlier in the fight was Davis, though, drops to left again, and over the top came Sherman Williams. Davis comes slugging back.
Sounded like it buzzed Sherman Williams a little bit. I think Sherman Williams right now is just fighting on, I'm going to get it inside, I'm going to punish him. Because it's like you don't have a game plan too much. You ain't telling him too much to do, it seems like in the corner. Either that or he ain't following instruction.
Williams' 20-pound weight advantage came in tonight at 251 pounds to Davis's 231 in spite of the big height advantage. What looks like approximately 4 inches to us.
Let him go and step back, please.
Paul Cedar now not content to let the fighters hang around on the inside, separating them a lot more than he did earlier in the fight.
Watch out of there.
And Davis getting a little lazy on the inside, not trying to throw that uppercut as instructed by Chuck McGregor. Now he goes, lets loose, drops the uppercut a couple of times in there. Outscoring, nice left-right combination, outscoring Williams here in round number 4.
Davis is actually coming to form right now. Right now, his punches are landing. He's getting little shots off. Right now I think he's getting a little comfortable. Sherman Williams get a little tired. Power of his punches is going. Davis right now is fighting a much better fight than he's been fighting. I think he still needs to go on the outside, just my opinion. Just need to go on the outside a little bit, popping and utilizing the jab. Keeping Sherman Williams on the outside of his punch.
All right, break out that clean.
Now, Kevin, he's trying to use that uppercut, and it kind of reminds me of the Buster Douglas uppercut that Evander Holyfield sidestepped and knocked him out. He's throwing the uppercut. When you throw it on the inside, that's one thing. When you throw it from that far on the outside, it's dangerous.
Dangerous. You hit with a hook, a counter hook at that. Throw the uppercut, you gotta come back to hook right away. You can't throw the uppercut and get out there.
Time.
There's the bell. That's the end of round 4.
Corner is Sherman Williams. Trainer Kerry Russell and Henry Foster working that end swell under the right eye now. That jab starting to put a tattoo on the face of Sherman Williams, courtesy of Robert Davis. And we take a look at action from round number 4, and we're going to take a look at what I think is an excellent jab on the part of Robert Davis, Kevin. He just needs to learn how to sit down on it a little bit more, maybe take a step in on that second jab instead of throwing the second one from the outside.
But the big thing you have to do when you jab like that is jab forward, not to the side or backwards. Because what happens when you jab forward, you knock the man's head backwards, and he goes off balance.
Round number 5, scheduled for 8. Robert Davis in the red shorts, Sherman Williams in the black. No knockdowns thus far in the fight. Kevin, I see this fight even right now. I gave the first 2 rounds to Williams, the last 2 to Davis, who seems to be finally finding the range here, and the strategy that McGregor's been telling him seems to be working, although he's definitely not dominating.
On either me or twins or something. I mean, we haven't been off yet. I scored the first 2 rounds, you know, to Sherman Williams, the second 2 rounds to Robert Davis. I got the fight even 38-38. I tell you, it's kind of strange that now Robert Davis is coming of age. He's starting to box. He's getting confident. He's letting his punches go. They got an uppercut. He's uppercut crazy. Only thing I think Robert Davis is doing a little bit wrong right now, he's going a little wide with the uppercut.
I was going to say, Kevin, I don't think he throws the uppercut correctly. He's not bending his knees, and he's not, putting his whole body behind it. But he's certainly scoring with it, and he's got Sherman Williams way off track here and off balance. And and he catches Williams walking in with a left-right combination, and Williams goes down to one knee to try to regain his composure. It was certainly an accumulation of punches here at the beginning. He's just barely makes the count, sitting down at 9, and Paul Ceda's waving the fight off. Sherman Williams just quits, goes down to one knee. Robert Davis coming out like a house on fire at the beginning of round number 5. Through about 8 unanswered left uppercuts, which really started the sequence going, Kevin. At that point, Sherman Williams got hit with another couple of combination punches after an accumulation, drops down to one knee, beats the count at 9, and Paul Ceda waves it off, and no argument from Sherman Williams.
Well, Sherman Williams seemed like he said he didn't want no more. I looked at his mouth. He said that's it. He couldn't take anymore. I tell you, Robert Davis looked a little rusty in the early rounds. Maybe he had to get his flow going. Maybe he just didn't realize the jab was working for him. We don't know, but it's a little stale in the early rounds.
Well, we take a look at action here in round number 5, and then you can just see. Look at these uppercuts: 2, 3, 4, 5. And even though he didn't have his whole body behind him and he was throwing him from the outside, he finally pinned Williams against the ropes, who just totally couldn't regain his composure. And then, you take a look at Davis. Though Davis will watch this tape along with Chuck McGregor and Kerry Russell, and they'll say, you did okay there, but can you imagine if you would have sat down on your punches and get so wild and crazy at that point? You might have knocked him cold instead of just sending him to one knee. But we're going to get the official time on a knockout from marvelous Mark Bureau.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time, 1 minute, 40 seconds of the 5th round. The winner by a knockout and still undefeated, Robert Davis.
All right, Robert Davis by 140 in the 5th. He improves to 15-0, his 8th win by way of knockout. It's his 2nd knockout in a row. I guess the punching power is coming Sherman Williams drops down to 13-3. I'm sure we'll see him back. And nevertheless, he drops down to one knee, beats the 9 count, but Paul Cedar calls the fight off, and no argument from Sherman Williams. So again, Robert Davis remains undefeated at 15-0.